دوستان عزیز فیسبوک من دکتر ناناز پیرنیا هستم و امروز برنامه فوق‌العاده مهمی رو با عزیزی که 2 ماهه که اعتیادش رو ترک کرده مهمان برنامه منه و میخواد برامون بگه از اینکه چطور به این اعتیاد رسید و چطور داره نجات پیدا میکنه. از داستان خودش میگه تا ما هممون یاد بگیریم و بتونیم به بچه هامون و خانواده کمک کنیم. من برنامه که شروع بشه یه چند دقیقه صحبت میکنم راجع به دراگز. و ژیلا جان خوش آمدی به برنامه. فکر میکنم که برنامه بسیار آموزنده‌ای باشه و فرشاد عزیزم خوش آمدی با ما باشید. تناز جان گود ایونینگ. ارادتمند.
بفرمایید.
شنوندگان عزیز برنامه زندگی بهتر، دکتر ناناز پیرنیا هستم و به اتفاق فرشاد بلندیان کارگردان اتاق فنی به همه شما عزیزان سلام عرض می کنم و امیدوارم که همه مواظب خودتون و ما در مرکز مایند تراپی سنتر در خدمت شما هستیم که در این دوران برای بالا بردن سیستم ایمنی شما و تعدیل وزنتون و بعد برای مغز درمانی و اگر هر نوع تراما یا مشکل یا اگه میخواین آپتیمایز کنین مغزو در خدمت شما هستیم. من هم روان درمانگر هستم، بیش از 37 ساله و هم 17 سال هستش که در کار مغز درمانی هستم و در مرکز مایند تراپی سنتر به اتفاق دکتر کیت و سایر همکارانمون هم به بدن شما میرسیم و هم به مغز شما و هم روان درمانی رو و تمام مشکلات کودکان، نوجوانان، بزرگسالان و اگه مسائل زناشویی هست، مسائل خانواده هست، تمام و زیر یک سقف ما برای شما هدیه میکنیم. تلفن تماس با من 310-286-1480 هست و تلفن تماس با استودیو بین ساعت 2 تا 3 که لایو میریم 323 512 7264 هست. امروز من یک برنامه بی نهایت مهم، متفاوت و آموزنده دارم و از عزیزی، دختر عزیزی 26 ساله به نام ملانی دعوت کردم که با من بشینه و در رابطه با این که چطور در حدود 16 سالگی گرفتار اعتیاد شد و داستان واقعاً پر بالا و نشیب و فرازی که داشت تا اینی که 2 ماه پیش شروع کرد و الان 2 ماهه که سوبره و آمده در مرکز ما که برین رو دوباره سازی کنیم. همونطور که شما میدونین مغز قابل ترمیمه و سلول های جدید به وجود میاره و اگر بهش برسیم هم رشد جدیدی نوران ها دارن، هم اتصال جدید و سلول هایی که ضربه دیدن یا صدمه دیدن رو ما میتونیم ترمیم بکنیم. ما دیگه باید یاد بگیریم که به مغز خودمون برسیم و در کنار یک انشالله زندگی طولانی از کمک مغز درمانی و در واقع فانکشنال مدیسن و جسم درمانی و داشتن اپتیمیزیشن مغز، بهترین نحوه واقعا توازن مغز، کمک بکنیم که مشکلات رفتاری، روحی، فکری، خواب، وزن و غیره رو نداشته باشیم. ما در مرکز مایند تراپی سنتر در واقع امروز میدونیم که هممون محکوم و تحت تاثیر مغز خودمون و نحوه فعالیت سلول های مغزمون هستیم. تا موقعی که ما این توازن رو در مغز و در جسم ایجاد نکنیم، هیچ فردی نیستش که به دنیا بیاد و پرفکت باشه اوضاعش و در نتیجه برای داشتن زندگی، حواس خوب، خواب خوب، رابطه موفق، زندگی و درس و کار خوب، شما با چند جلسه کمک میکنین به خودتون که سلول ها رو متوازن نگه دارید. امروز من همونطور که با شما خیلی صحبت کردم، متاسفانه مریوانا، سایر مواد مخدر، داروهای شیمیایی که مغز رو تغییر میده، الکل و غیره در دسترس همه بی نهایت زیاده و از بچه تا بزرگ دارن از همه این سابستنس ها به یک نوعی استفاده میکنن. آماری داریم که بیش از 70% افراد بزرگسال در امریکا حداقل روی یک نوع داروی شیمیایی هستند. متاسفانه با قانونی که مریوانا رو آزاد کردن و این دیسپنسریا وجود داره و با فراوانی و آسانی خرید مواد مخدر و مسائلی که از لحاظ ارث و از لحاظ اوضاع خانواده و از لحاظ دوست بد، محیط اشتباه، پول زیاد در اختیار بچه ها، عدم قانونگذاری درست و غیره، امروز تعداد بچه های ما و تینیجرهای ما و بزرگسالان که به یک نوعی اعتیاد به نوعی مواد مخدر یا الکل یا داروهای شیمیایی و غیره دارن، بی نهایت آمارش بالا رفته. وید یا مریوانا که همه فکر میکنن که یک سابستنس مشکلی نداره و قانونی شده، یادتون باشه که قانونی شده از لحاظ اینکه از لحاظ قانونی فروش بره و تکسش به دولت برگرده که خرج این مملکت بشه. قانونی نیست از لحاظ رابطه‌ای که روی سلامت و اثری که روی مغز انسان داره و متاسفانه وید یا مریوانا بزرگ و اون THC که توی مریوانا هست سایکواکتیوه و با کشیدن اون، چون 30 روز حداقل در مغز این THC با هر بار استفاده از مریوانا میمونه، متاسفانه تمام سلول های عصبی و ساختمانسازی داخل مغز رو فرمش رو عوض میکنه و بچه های ما به خاطر دوپامین و اون هپی هورمون هایی که شاید تا 1000 بار بیشتر ریلیس میشه احساس شعف میکنن، حالشون بهتر میشه و فکر میکنن که کنترل مودشون رو دارن، در حالی که این THC 30 روز در هر بین نوروترانسمیترهای مغز میشینه و تمام رفته مشکلات مود، توجه، یادگیری، توانایی تکون خوردن و لیزی نبودن، خشم و خشونت و رفته حالتهای سایکوسیس روانی و در تحقیقاتی که ما کردیم خیلی از بچه ها وقتی از کودکی و از نوجوانی شروع میکنن به استفاده از مواد مخدر و مریوانا که جزوشه، متاسفانه به اسکیزوفرنیا و علائم اسکیزوفرنیا و دگرگونی شخصیتی مبتلا میشن. من واقعا نمیدونم که چطور به شما عنوان بکنم که باید حواستون رو جمع بچه هاتون بکنین، تینیجراتون بکنین. ما بیش از 200,000 نفر از پارسال به خاطر استفاده از وید و اثراتش و خطراتش و ترامایی که به برین رسیده به بیمارستان و به امرجنسی روم حتی رفتن. ما میدونیم که این مغز در حال رشد تینیجرها 600% بیشتر سرعت داره برای اینکه مچور بشه، پخته بشه و به جلوی پیشانی برسه و متاسفانه با استفاده از مواد مخدر شما تمام اون پتانسیل شخصیتی و وجودی اون انسان رو، اون جوان رو براش میگیریم با این دراگی که مصرف میکنه و دیگه سیستمی که به اون شخصیتی که قرار اون فرد داشته باشه میتونه به هم بریزه. خوشبختانه امروز ما ملانی رو در کنارمون داریم که برامون به ما یاد بده که چه چیزهایی رو نگاه بکنیم، چه علائمی رو در خونه مواظب باشیم. و از داستان خودش میگه دختر بسیار شجاعیه که با اینی که 2 ماه الان سوبره و تازه با ما شروع کرده برای مغز درمانی، به مجردی که من ازش خواهش کردم والنتیر شد که امروز در کنار من بشینه و با شما عزیزان صحبت بکنه. و بعد از اینکه صحبتاشو کرد من توضیحی میدم که ما در مرکز مایند تراپی سنتر چطور بهش داریم کمک میکنیم و اصولا چطور به ادیکشن و اعتیاد کمک میکنیم که مغز دوباره سازی بشه. Melanie John, I explained why you're here, and I explained a little bit about the drugs and use and abuse of drugs. And I just want to welcome you. I'm so proud of you for being so courageous and you're willing to help others to learn from your experiences, and hopefully together we're gonna make a difference. Sure. I think your journey has happened for a reason, and you're so smart that with all these experiences you're more mature now, and you can help others and their teenagers to not go through the same journey that was, I'm sure, so painful at times. So come closer, our friends would see you. دوستان عزیز، ملانی 26 سالشه و 2 ماهه که الان دیگه هیچ چیزی رو استفاده نمی کنه. So please Melanie, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you were introduced to drugs, what age and what drugs.
Well, I was born and raised in Germany, and moving to America was a big culture shock for me. So, you know, you had to fit in and you had to find your right space, your place. And I think when you're a little bit confused on where you fit in, you kind of fall into the wrong type of crowds, like wrong people. You don't want to hang out with the wrong people when you're in those situations. But I can tell you how I was introduced to these drugs.
This is in Germany?
No, well, this is when I moved here from Germany.
What age you moved to?
I was 11, but when I got into abusing drugs was when I was 16.
16. Yeah. Okay, پس ملانی اول آلمان زندگی کرده و بعد با خانواده آمده در 11 سالگی، ولی از 16 سالگی به drugs introduce میشه که حالا داره برای ما میگه. Okay, continue.
And the drugs that I was introduced as first was marijuana.
Of course.
And it, just like Dr. Pernia said, it didn't seem harmful. To some people it doesn't seem harmful, but it does stop giving you the satisfaction that you're looking for, and you do want to get another kind of euphoria. So it's inevitable to not go after the drugs that, you know, that are going to make you feel the way you used to feel.
Right.
They're always chasing that first high.
So your friend came and she offered you the first marijuana joint?
Basically, yes.
And you said yes?
I said yes.
Did you have a problem at home? Did you need it? Did you need the drug, or it was just curiosity at that point?
I think at that point it was curiosity, but it wasn't like I was doing it every day at that point. At that point it was just like, oh hey, I'll smoke this one at a party here and there, but quickly after that it became like an everyday thing, a habit.
So وقتی که مریوانا رو دوستش بهش معرفی کرد، هم در خونه مشکلاتی بود و هم کنجکاو بود و با مریوانا شروع کرد و بعد اون هایی که میگرفت رفته رفته کم شد و هی احتیاج داشت که چیزهای دیگر رو بکشه و امتحان بکنه و so what drugs did you use after marijuana?
So the drugs that I got into were opiates and benzodiazepines, which is probably the most addictive and very, very hard to come off of.
So you got the pills.
Yeah, the pills.
And what is the street name for the benzo?
For the street name for the benzo, there's a lot. Bars, Xannies.
Xannies,
Yeah.
So بعد از اینی که مریوانا رو شروع میکنه، بعد متاسفانه این داروهای اوپیوت که شنیدیم چقدر افراد ازش میمیرن به خاطر اینکه تروماتایز میشه برین و خیلی خطرناکه رو شروع کرد. These are the ones that you bought from a drug dealer.
Yes.
So you know drug dealers.
Well, it was, once you kind of like step into that world, it's very easy to get other people, other drug dealers like that are higher up in the game to get their information and contact.
So وقتی که شروع میکنن میگه اینقدر آسونه که توی خیابون و خیلی آسون این دراگ دیلرها دا این قرصا و این مواد مخدر رو به شما برسونن. So did you have any reasons maybe escaping from reality or home issues? Because we hear a lot about how intact families would help us not to go after drugs. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I think I did write this down because I didn't want to talk about it. I think
you talk about what you have on your note, in your notes.
Yeah. I think
you take me through your journey.
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Sure.
I think parents give up too fast. I believe I know parents are just young kids that grew up obviously and had, you know, their children, had the career and everything, but when it comes to parents that have kids with, you know, troubles or thoughts that are not right, and obviously parents don't want to believe that their child, you know, has problems. Every parent is like that.
And they go through denial.
Yeah, they go through denial. And I think when parents see that, they either shut it down or they just they what do you might call it? They
become your enabler sometimes.
They kind of become...
They watch you.
Yeah, like if certain things don't happen at a certain age, parents give up too fast. I feel like parents give up too fast on their kids, which is one of the biggest problems. Like, parents need to understand that giving up so fast is not going to benefit the parent. It's not going to benefit the child. It's just going to make the child feel alone, and when parents aren't watching out for the child is going to go out and seek seek shelter and love from some
rules
strangers.
And supervision.
Yeah.
They give up. They don't even know what to do. ملانی میگه که اولین چیزی که من به پدر مادرها توصیه میکنم اینه که خیلی زود وقتی که میبینن پرابلم چایلد دارن گیواب میکنن یا دنبالش نمیرن یا سرپرستی کامل نمیکنن و در واقع فوری دنبال راه حل نمیگردن، زیادی دیگه تماشاش میکنن و گرفتار میشه. I believe that you're coming from a family of addicts, right?
Yes, my father was a very big addict. He was addicted to opiates before I was born, when I was born, and honestly until now too.
He's still an addict?
Yeah, he still is, but I don't have any contact with him or anything like that. But yeah, I think me and my mom and my dad are divorced, and I had every other weekend with him. And every other weekend, he would take me out to the movies. We would go swimming pools and stuff like that. But every night, we would go to one of his friends' houses, and they were smoking opium in front of me. And I didn't register it at that time that that's not something I'm supposed to see. Obviously, I'm a child. I look up to my parent. But as I grew older and I understood the world of drugs and the world of the brain and how it affects you, I understand that that is not something a child should see or even be around.
I'm so sorry for that experience. پدر و مادری که معتاد هستند، بچه معتاد احتمالاً دارن و این خانواده پدرشون متاسفانه معتاد هستند و از بچگی میرفتن و اینم با خودشون تو مهمونیاشون میبردن و اونجا دراگ میکشیدن و ملنی تماشا میکرد و شاید هم این قصه خیلی از افرادیه که الان میبینیم که شاهد استفاده اعتیادی پدر مادر هستن. بریم به آگهی برگردیم، با ما باشین با این دختر شجاع. Okay, now you're doing great first of all. دوستان فیسبوکی, isn't she the bravest girl you've ever seen? I'm glad Roya is here, Tanaz is here, Hemad is here. Hi to everyone.
Thank you for everybody watching.
And I'm so touched, Melanie, because the first sign of recovery is when you're not in denial
Admitting
and
to
you're
yourself.
talking about it.
Of course.
And
It took me a while to be where I am now.
I don't know how you're honestly, it's like, and that's because of your good brain.
Yeah.
We just did a brain map on Melanie, and thank God she's extremely alert and she can learn, and there is no problem with all the learning areas. IQ is high, so you're really on the road to recovery. I wanted you to, because we have like a few minutes, talk about the things that parents should watch.
Okay.
I have everything, I think. Now I know, Melanie, that parents think that this is part of the computer.
Okay. So, this is
This is
connected to it.
easy.
Is it okay if I take this?
Yeah, please.
So I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with vapes, electronic cigarettes. And this is what a Juul looks like. And these are the pods that they have to buy. It's $20 a pack for 4 packs that they have to buy. This is nicotine. What this is right here, this goes into any USB, which is charging.
So they can
the
have
vape.
it next to their computer.
And a
laptop.
box, a Apple charger, anything. So this is nicotine, which is brain poison.
Yeah. So I want to tell you also that these pods, they're so toxic that every little pod that they take equals to 1 pack or more of a cigarette. And this is going to affect their lungs so badly. And then the other one is Steezy.
Yes.
Where is it? What did I do with it?
This is
That's Steezy, which is now...
This is not nicotine. This is actual concentrated weed. So this is the concentrated weed, which has a pod that goes in there. This one doesn't have it right now, but it's called Stizzy.
This is not part of the Steezy, no?
No, this is part of the Juul. Yeah, that's the
So
Juul.
parents, people that are watching, share this with your friends. This is not part of the computer equipment. This is not the educational device. And parents think it is because it looks so professionally done.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you that the Steezy also, the way they have this THC, it's almost like the last molecules of the THC, and they don't have any control on the intensity or the way that this is done. It doesn't tell us how potent this is. So I have had a lot of kids that were traumatized. They went to the hospital. They were traumatized.
Even the oils that they concentrate and make it into weed now, the oils that are concentrated to be wax come from the most disgusting parts of the weed, by the way. So, which is really poisonous for the brain. So, if anything, I wouldn't trust Dizzy because
I won't trust anything.
None of that.
Have you done this? No, this is all confiscated from kids. And the parents thought that this is part of their mouse for the computer in front of their kids.
Really?
Yeah. And obviously we've got...
And then this is another bigger version. It's just a higher voltage of a... Could be nicotine vape or it could be cannabis. It does... Either one is not good. And it's not a charger or a USB. It's something to smoke.
What did you do with all the equipments you had?
I barely had equipment. It was just like one or two, and like I just
So eventually
gave them away
you were
to my
doing
friends.
weed and you were doing...
Yeah, so weed, and then when I got into the opiates, it was just like pills, you know. And then what did get bad, I do want to share this because I think...
till we share that what got bad.
Okay.
And also, obviously, if they have Visine, it means they're doing drugs.
Young kids don't need this. If you see this, that's a warning point.
Right, and then we have hiding. Did you have a hiding place?
Oh wow. I wasn't this smart, but yeah, that's a good hiding place.
So anything, books, the bottom of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, they have even cans now, like Arizona iced teas. Look like the canister, the cans, but then, you open it up on the top and
then I have the edibles.
Oh yeah.
That people, you know, we had a kid, she thought that this is like cereal. Oh, wow. And she ate the whole thing and she almost died. And of course, you know, you have instruments.
Yeah.
What do you do with this?
So when people don't have the funds to buy a real bong, which we just showed, or like something like this, like a bubbler.
This is the bong.
Yeah, that's a bubbler, and this is a bong. So if people don't have this, kids can get creative and make their own. So they make a hole in here. Or here, this is the hole where they put the weed on top of.
And they use a straw. How do they smoke it? Straw?
So basically it's usually from like this part. So like they put it on top of here. They put it on top of here and then they put a hole in here. And then like smoke it.
So, you know, these are all type and colors.
Yeah, these are all different flavors of vapes.
Different flavors,
yeah.
Right.
And the flavor is really what gets the young, the youth. Yeah. The nicotine flavors is really what gets them addicted. And I'm glad that Juul has banned all the flavors, but there are other like brands that are still doing the flavors. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if people want to buy these things, it's easy, right?
It's very easy. These things are in smoke shops. It's very easily accessible, so you really just have to... And when you see your child or somebody you love using these or having these around, the worst way to approach them is with anger and guilt. You want to help them, and I know it hurts to see this, so you get angry, but you want to help them, so the best way to approach is with ease and like talking to them and communication, because that's what a lot of kids don't get, and they run away and they want to do more drugs and get into even more bad drugs.
And I think we should give credit to your mom. She's someone that you're very close,
very close,
and she's approachable.
Yeah.
She's actually, hi mom, she's here with us.
My mom has definitely helped me a lot.
Yeah, you're on your road to recovery.
No risk.
So we're gonna go
Take
on.
control of your life. Feel good about yourself with the Neuro Red Light. Fit into those clothes that have become too tight, and just feel better with the Neuro Red.
Everyone is saying hi, and they say they're
Dr.
Fasha.
Naz Pernia's office on 310-286-1480.
So we're gonna go fast through the journey.
That's 310-286-1480, or go to www.denazpernia.com.
loud.
بفرمایید جوانتون.
شنوندگان عزیز برنامه زندگی بهتر، امروز با دختر جوانی 26 ساله ملنی در استودیوی خودم در آفیس خودم نشستیم و اگر که فیسبوک رو نگاه بکنین لایف هستیم، اگر نه از رادیو. داره برای ما ملنی از تجربه خودش میگه تا پدر و مادرها بیاموزند و مواظب باشن. نکته مهمی رو گفت که پدر و مادرها خیلی زود گیواپ میکنن روی بچه ها و دیگه مواظبشون نیستن. قانون و سرپرستی و supervision is a must. So Melanie, tell us when it got really bad. You started with marijuana.
Yes.
And then the opioids, the pills, which has so many different street names.
Yeah.
And it got more and more potent and you became more and more addicted.
That's right.
Then take me through your experience.
Well, at first it was an escape from depression and childhood trauma. I had divorced parents, which is, I mean, obviously, like, a lot of people go through that. And my mom was always a provider, but since she's moved 3 times, like, you know, it's very hard for a single mother to be able to provide, but she did her best that she could, and she still is. But at one point when I was 18, she couldn't afford our apartment anymore, and I had to move out so she could rent out my room so we could, you know, get by. And I think,
Where did you go?
that's the thing, like, I was lost, I was confused, I was lost.
You were in the streets?
I wasn't in the streets, but I had good friends that took me in for a while.
And you were
And
doing the drugs?
I was, just to, like, not think about
So
these
zero supervision then?
things. Zero supervision.
Wow.
But
این ملنی ما از خانواده که دیورس بوده، پدر ادیکتد بوده. برا من تعریف کرد که یه دفعه پدرش وقتی دندونش درد میکرده اوپیودو میاره و همه رو میریزه تو دهنش که این درد نداشته باشه. و بعد هم گرفتاری مالی به عنوان سینگل پرنت پیدا میشه و ملانی باید از خونه میرفته که یک بتونن رنت بدن و پول در بیارن و شروع. به نظر من ملانی you have enough reasons
which causes a lot of fear and trauma, not knowing anything about the real world, you know?
Absolutely. And then what was the lowest of low for you?
The lowest of low for me,
What
I
happened
think when
to you that you came to me? What happened to you?
I think the lowest time with my drug use was when I lost my apartment, my own apartment that I was living at. I lost my car. I started the best relationships I've had with people. I started to mess it up, and I lost so many friends. I lost so many relationships, and I realized that the only way out of this when you're a drug addict is death or prison. And those were not the choices that I wanted to make. And I know deep down every young person, that's not what they want to do. They're just trying to numb the pain that's inside them.
ملانی خیلی قشنگ توضیح میده. فکر کنم هم انگلیسی بلد هستین، ولی میگه که دیگه به یه جای آدم میرسه که یا باید فکر میکنه میره زندان یا میمیره و این چویس هیچ کدومش چویسش نبود در اون موقع. You think you stopped your education also, or you could finish your school? Did you study?
Yeah, I studied. I was going to school. I was going to college, and when it got really, really bad with the drugs, I had to drop out of college for a year. But I have only a few credits left. I'm getting my bachelor's, so I'm ready to go back and finish it.
So proud of you, and I'm with you and behind you
nothing
all the
better.
way. I don't know. I don't know how much you know that we're proud of you. And you're a very special soul. الان درسشو میخونده ولی بعد دیگه نتونسته حالش خیلی بد بود وقتی که پلوی ما اومد، ولی الان با نقشه برداری مغز که کردیم و تست ادرار و سلایوا رو بزاق دهان رو دادیم که ببینیم چه چیزایی از لحاظ بیوشیمی و الکتریکی مشکله و 100% هم در تراپی با من هست و از همه لحاظ ما برین رو دوباره سازی میکنیم. And I gave you the alpha machine. میخوام بدونین که ملانی داشت میگفتش که این الفا ماشین رو وقتی رو گوشش میذاره و این انرژی ایجاد میکنه و این خود اوپیود برین رو میریزه خیلی بهتر. You could sleep better.
هر کریوینگی هستش یا اگه کم خواب بودی دارین، این خیلی من اینا رو میزنم به ایرلوبم و قشنگ میشنم دراز میکشم و ریلکسیشن سنسیشن ریلکسیشن به آدم میده که خیلی خوبه و هر کی این پرابلم رو داشته I think this is a very good way to start.
این دستگاه الفا رو تو خونه هم برای هممونه و هم برای عزیزانیه که هر نوع کریوینگی دارن که جلوش رو بگیریم. Why don't you tell me if you have any stories that it's dangerous in the streets, the risk you took? How did you manage to take care of yourself in the streets of Los Angeles?
It's crazy.
Is it a crazy story?
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest and vulnerable right now, but I was going around, I was going from friends to friends' couches, and then it got so bad where I was even involved with gangbangers and like people that were, you know, doing horrible things. And thinking back now, I was so numb from the drugs that I didn't think about fear. I didn't think about me dying, nothing. But thinking back about it now, there could have been so many times where I could have died. And I just don't want that for anybody to happen, because when you're lost and when you're out on the streets of Los Angeles, if you don't have, I don't even know how to explain it. If you don't have your pineal gland that's open to like receiving these information and these things from the outside world, then you're doomed. You're definitely doomed, because you don't want to be in the position that I was. You don't want to not care, do these drugs, and end up with the worst criminals in Los Angeles, you know?
ملانی دیگه من نمیدونم چقدر میتونه آدم آنست باشه، اوپن باشه، بخواد به شماها کمک بکنه که شنونده هستین. من میبینم خیلی تحمل میکنین، من میبینم براشون پرووایدرین، غذا هم جلوی بچه هاتون میذارین و اونا دراگ میکشن و رفته رفته متاسفانه ملانی میگه که دیگه آدم وقتی که ادیکت میشه، وقتی که دیگه دراگو لازم داره، پدر و مادر رو هیچی نمیفهمه و توی برینم موقعی که ما این ریلیس میشه، این THC این یا هر ماده‌ای که این اوپیود رو ریلیس میکنه و این پلیژر رو میده، جلوی فکر کردن جلوی پیشانی و جلوی این که بتونیم دوراندیشی کنیم و فکر بکنیم و بعد تصمیم بگیریم و میگیره. و ملانی میگه که خودش هم نمیدونه چطوری زنده مونده و توی این گنگ و خیابون و اینا واقعا سیف شده.
And I want to be completely honest too, and I want to tell you another thing that I did overdose twice.
I was gonna ask.
And not everybody is lucky. I was lucky enough to be around at least one person that had the same addiction as me, but she was just like me in the mentality of like knowing this is wrong, but we were just escaping something, escaping to make a life. But if I didn't have that person with me, by the way, Narcan for opioids is a very good thing to have. Everybody should have I carry Narcan with me in my bag at all times now. If I didn't have that person around me to save me from my overdose, those times with the Narcan, I wouldn't be here right now. explaining to you guys my experiences. So I think it's very important, if you're going to be if you are addicted, if you're gonna do this, please have supervision of somebody that you trust and understands what you're going through at that moment and that time of your life.
متاسفانه با این دراگایی که الان تو مارکته به قدری اینا تاکسیکن که اووردوس میکنن آدم ها روش و من ملنی میگه من لاکی بودم که دوستم مادهی به نام نارکن رو دارن که این کمک میکنه که یه کسی نمیره واقعا از اون ترامایی که به برین میشینه و اون بلاستی که این مواد مخدر در مغز میکنن. ولی به طور کلی داره میگه که احتمال اووردوس و مرگ و من خیلی زیاد میبینم. You know, we had over 200,000 teenagers last year at ER for overdosing or being comatized. Do you think friends, bad friends, we keep saying bad friends and we keep saying social media. What do you think?
Social media for me didn't influence me very much, but I do believe like bad friends, not even friends, people that getting into the wrong crowd, I believe, is something that people should be aware of, because that's what really influenced me. Because yes, social media can influence you, but I believe music very much influences these.
Music?
Yeah, music glorifies drugs and
the enjoyment.
Yeah, the enjoyment of they glorify it, but they don't tell you in the music that the after effect, the withdrawal, is not worth the high ever.
Yeah. And ملنی میگه که چون موزیک بهتر میشه ویژوال و از لحاظ شنوایی هر چیزی رو که وقتی های هستین یک حالت ابسترکت عجیب و غریب پیدا میکنه، ولی میگه ارزش اینی که وقتی که تو ویدرول میرین و این دراگ رو لازم دارین رو هیچ چیزی در زندگی نداره. Do you think that your physical and mental symptoms made you go to the rehab and now be here?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did you make that wise decision? Were you scared of dying at one point?
I wasn't scared of dying. I was scared of not living up to my full potential, and I was scared. And it wasn't very much scared of my parents. It was just feeling bad that they went through so many things to raise me, especially my mom. She's a single mother. She went through so much hardship to raise me. And I didn't understand that when I was a teenager or a child, but as I grew older, I realized and I appreciate her so much more, and I don't want to disappoint her, and I don't want me dying after everything she's done to me. You know, I want to give back. I want to give back. I want to be a good person. It's
and you
never,
are.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
never
are.
good.
And this is your experience, and there is a reason for our experiences in life. I believe that.
Trust me, I know it sounds a little cheesy, but it is the truth. It's really the truth.
And I think we're going to help our community. We're going to have hopefully some round tables with all the teenagers. And ملنی به من قول داده که ما جلساتی رو بذاریم با تینیجرها و یه سری برنامه بذاریم که خودشون هم سوالاشون رو بکنن، هم بدونن که چه چیزی خطرناک هست یا نیستش. Melanie, I wanted to ask you if you were your parent and you're watching your daughter 16 doing drugs, what would you do differently?
What would I do?
What would your daughter is Melanie.
Okay, so
I know your dad should not smoke and should not do drugs.
Well, okay, a lot of parents go into instant anger mode. They go instant anger mode. You're grounded. You can't go out. You can't do this. I don't think that's the way to approach kids that are already struggling with mental issues and whatever they're dealing with, but parents can approach it in a different way. It's almost like parents can also be their child's therapist. I would be my child's therapist without the license, obviously, at home.
So you wouldn't scream, you wouldn't get angry, you would listen.
Absolutely
and
not.
you would become helpful.
Exactly.
How
'Cause
would you help, Melanie?
How would I help? The thing is, number one thing that you don't do is get angry with them
Yeah.
or ground them. That's not the way to go. The way to go is make them feel like you understand them, and you want to help them, and you talk to them, and you listen to what they're going through, what problems they have, and what you can do as a parent is really, really try to work on those problems with your child and see what options and alternatives there are for your child to experience to get better, because attacking, grounding, and yelling like like how they used to do it back in the day, I don't think is the way anymore, because look at the results. Kids keep doing it, kids keep dying and overdosing. There has to be a different pattern in the way that parents teach their kids.
Absolutely. ملانی نکته مهمی رو برای ما مطرح میکنه و اون میگه که اینکه با بچه هامون عصبانی بشیم، خشونت نشون بدیم، تنبیهشون کنیم، تو اتاقشون بفرستیم، هیچ کمکی نمیکنه به یه کسی که دراگ ادیکته، به کسی که دیگه الان اعتیاد داره یا یه هابیتی رو درست کرده. در نتیجه میگه که اگر دوستش باشیم، بهش گوش کنیم، بفهمیم که چه گرفتاری داره، تراپی for sure کمک بگیریم، ولی parents should be more educated, I think. Also, no?
Parents are not parents are not as educated in the field of mental health, I believe, especially in the Persian community.
Yeah.
And I think if we can get that power, then we can really, really see future generations doing very well.
Yeah. I don't know how I thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so
Dr.
touched. I'm trying not to cry.
Okay.
And دوستان عزیزم، اگر که مشکلی دارین، اگر میبینین بچه هابیتی رو فرم کرده، ما اینجا هستیم برای اینی که هم به شما کمک بکنیم، هم ایژوکیشن لازم، هم قانونگذاری رو، و اگر واقعا مشکل اعتیاد زیاده، هر چه زودتر تماشاشون نکنین، ولی باهاشون همراهی کنین که کمک بکنین. این drug addiction is a disease، یعنی واقعا مشکلیه که تا کسی نداشته باشه نمیتونه بفهمه که چقدر مشکله. مرکز ما برای تماس 310 286 1480 هست و با تشکر از ملانی عزیز و با اینکه امیدوارم این برنامه براتون سودمند بوده، روی فیسبوک هست و بعد بلا فاصله روی یوتیوب خواهد بود و میتونین با عزیزانتون شیر بکنین. Thanks a lot Melanie for being here. I wish you all the best. و تا هفته آینده مواظب مغز خودتون باشین. خدا حافظ.
Take care of yourselves.
فرشاد جان مرسی عزیزم.
ممنون خانم دکتر.
قربانت برم. مرسی.
مرسی.
دوستان عزیزم مرسی از توجهی که دادین. من قول میدم دوباره ملانی رو برمیگردونم. مواظب خودتون باشین.